Hello, this is Kanako Ishiyama, and this time I will be doing a commentary video on AniMat's animated film reviews. I will be doing the first two of his classic animated film reviews, which are his reviews of Bug's Life and of Balto. I will give my opinion on the movies themselves, my own opinion on the films themselves first. A Bug's Life was my favorite Pixar film for a very long time, and I still love it to this day. And as for Balto, it is definitely one of my all-time favorite animated films. It is just so... The story and the characters and all that are just magnificent. So, with that said, that's my opinion on the film, so let's get started on seeing what AniMat thinks of them. These will be mostly blind commentaries because I only watched them one time each, so I don't remember much about what he actually said about them. Anyway, as I said, let's get started.
A Bug's Life. Back in the mid-90s, a little animation studio called Pixar completely revolutionized the animation industry with the first ever computer-animated feature, Toy Story.
Yeah.
As it was such a huge success both critically and financially, of course they were asked to make another movie in the hopes that lightning can somehow strike twice. But this time, John Lasseter got the idea of the next step to take for their company, which is actually right under their feet. But after several years later, does A Bug's Life hold up as much as Pixar's other legendary hits? Or maybe DreamWorks had the better film all along? Let's find out.
I'm not a big fan of ants, to be honest.
This may be the case of the experience more than the journey. In terms of the story itself, it's nothing really that special. This is your typical underdog story where the screw-up has to find a way to redeem himself in a big way.
Yeah, but Flick's so lovable.
Same pattern as these kinds of plots would, making it pretty predictable the whole way through.
No, wait. This was not supposed to happen.
Mayday, we're losing the job.
But where the story itself may not be much of an attention grabber, what happens in the movie definitely is.
Okay, now we're talking.
Pixar brings up a lot of interesting ideas of what could happen in, well, A Bug's Life. From the working colony of the ants, their version of the city life, the tyranny of the grasshoppers, and more. Also, they did succeed in conveying the emotional aspect, making many of the scenes feel intense, charming, heartwarming, or just plain enjoyable.
Yep.
We know how the story is gonna go down.
Right.
But we also know that we'll have fun with it anyways.
Yeah, this really was a fun movie.
The animation.
Okay.
Even for one of their first films, Pixar sure knows how to bring us to new worlds, which in this case is from the point of view of a bug. The best aspect of the animation is definitely the backgrounds, making the most ordinary small things look larger than life. It successfully captures how birds and rain are considered a threat to ants, and taking stuff like cans and boxes and turn them into buildings.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice touch.
Wow. City.
And yeah, he definitely sticks out like a sore thumb there.
As for the bugs themselves, it's really creative and fascinating to watch all the different bugs from how they look to the many different ways they move. The only small exception would be the ants. It's admirable that they were able to make so many at once, but their designs aren't really anything special, and they do look all the same except for a selected few.
Yeah, of course they're not.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course the important characters look different.
Since it was made during the infancy of computer animated features, it does show that it hasn't really aged too well. Like, it's not as defined as its later counterparts like Finding Nemo or Wall-E. But, like I said,
And I haven't.
fault that it was released
I'm sorry to say I have not seen either of those
that,
films.
For what it is, the animation really succeeds in showing how bugs see the world.
And I know all of you are probably going to say, oh, you need to see Wall-E, oh, you need to see Wall-E. It's not that I haven't wanted to, I just hadn't gotten around to it yet.
Characters. In fact, it's pretty surprising how a lot of them have some depth. Princess Ada,
Oh,
for
there's a
example,
gap in the line!
seems like just a love interest to Flick, but she's also trying to learn how to take the place of the Queen, where she discovers that she might not be so different to Flick after all. With the
Yeah,
Gophers,
I love that.
They really pose as a threat to the ants.
Yep.
Especially with their leader, Hopper, who really puts the menacing side to them and that dark edge that shows that he is no laughing matter.
Nope.
It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants
In line.
That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
And then there are the circus bugs. Honestly, when these guys came in, that's when the movie really kicks up and gets good.
Yeah, I suppose so, but
Personality, along with a development when they arrive to Ant Island, and a great performance from their respective voice actors.
yeah.
From the greedy P.T. Flea to the tough Francis to the hungry Heimlich to the eccentric Tuck and Roll, and many, many more. But then there's the main character, Flick, who's honestly the least interesting character.
I kind of disagree there. I would like Flick.
Who starts out as this outcast that always screws up. Even with his
And
first
Dot is my
one,
favorite. She is so adorable.
still as interesting as a real ant. That and Dot is just Flick's friend that's made more just as the cute character.
Well, what's wrong with just being the cute character? And she still has her moments of that. She definitely played a good role in this movie. I don't care if she was meant to be the cute character.
Bug's Life may not be Pixar's strongest feature with its predictable plot and an uninteresting main character.
I still
But it's
disagree
still
there.
a really enjoyable film for what it is.
I like Flick as a main character.
Story, nice animation, and memorable characters. I definitely recommend this for any Pixar fan or if you're in the mood for a fun animated flick. But the best way to see it, it's like if you're watching Pixar as a seed, whom by time would eventually grow into the mighty tree with plenty of strong branches to hold on that we know today.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, don't ask me just yet to compare it to DreamWorks' Ants. I'll probably do that when I'll review that film.
Yeah. I probably will do a commentary on Ants. It's just, I really did like A Bug's Life a lot more. And I'm probably in the minority there, but, well, there you have it. And now, on to the next film. Well, okay, after the outro.
Hey guys, this is AniMat's.
Okay, or not.
I feel like it's finally
I forgot there's-
about time that I would get to review a Pixar movie in these classic reviews, or let alone just an official Disney animated feature. Now, I know, technically, I already reviewed stuff like DuckTales the movie, or the
Which I will get to eventually.
really in the
DuckTales movie, I mean.
Collection, like something that would belong in here. You know what I mean? Like they're just made by secondary animation studios that were distributed by Disney. Is what I'm getting. Plus the fact that it actually feels great that it's a Bug's Life, since that's actually one of the films that I grew up with. Since it was released in the mid-90s, well, no, not mid, late 90s.
Was it late 90s? I guess I don't remember.
Characters like Slim,
That sounds about right, though.
Heimlich, P.T. Flea, and all those characters. And I remember I collected a lot of the action figures, so in a way, watching A Bug's Life again, it actually feels pretty nostalgic, and it actually feels pretty good. But anyways, now that A Bug's Life is over, it's time that we finally move on to a Patreon request. Yes, believe it or not, a very generous person by the name of the Autistic Pony has pledged the ultimate $75 a month on my Patreon account, which allows him to get so many great rewards, including getting a request I will immediately do for the next classic review. So, if you guys would like to be like the Autistic Pony and
I think I've heard of that guy, the Autistic Pony. I never actually watched any of his stuff, but
patreon.com/AniMat's. However, if you guys would still like to suggest an animated film you would like me to review and put on the animation hat, then write me an email at animatsreviews@gmail.com. So,
that would be interesting, but I would have to look and see what he's already done.
the Autistic Pony requests me to do. Well, if I could be honest, this is actually one that I try to avoid most of the time. Not because it was
really?
bad or anything. It's mostly because amongst this group of the
Oh, okay, I know what movie he's talking about.
wars, and I wanted to try to avoid it
Because
like, it
of the
felt like
music.
it was probably a little too much trouble. But since this is actually happening, he requested me to do this. I have no choice but to do his whim. Well, the only thing I could say now is get ready, bronies, because here comes AniMat.
Yep. Yeah, I guess, I don't know if he means he did that. I may be doing these out of order, but I did them in the order that they were in his playlist, so so there probably will be some confusion because of that, so sorry about that. Anyway, let's move on to his next review, to the next review I have lined up, which is Balto.
Balto. Some of you might know about this movie, but I bet you might not know much about the studio where it came from. This was actually brought to us by the very short-lived emblematic
Oh yeah, that's right.
animation
Yeah, I'd
studio
forgotten
by
about that.
Steven Spielberg that only made 3 animated features during its lifetime. An American Tale, Fievel Goes West,
Love that.
We're Back, A Dinosaur Story,
That one was
and
pretty
their last
good.
film, Balto.
Yeah,
Luckily for the
I love
animators working
and I
there,
love
they
Balto.
moved on to the newly founded DreamWorks Animation when the studio closed down. On a side note, I just want to give a shout out to Carlamon, who asked me to review this film through his awesome support on Patreon.
Oh, okay, so it's another Patreon request.
Does this movie hold the same legacy as the real Balto himself? Or does it fall flat fast like Amblimation? Let's find out. The story. This is one of those rare animated features that's actually based on a true story.
Yep.
Okay, loosely based.
Of course, yeah, of course.
The story of the 1925 serum run to Nome, Alaska, where Balto led a team of sled dogs traveling more than 600 miles to get some antitoxin. In the way that the movie explains it, it's more of your typical outcast story where everybody starts off by hating him because he's different, but then he goes out of his way to prove to everyone that he's a hero. It pretty much follows that same formula, and it doesn't really do much to add anything new.
Maybe not, but
This is not the kind of film that's actually about the story itself. It's the way it executes it.
definitely.
That's where the movie shines.
Yep.
It explains it in a way that's more down to earth and often pretty intense. Sure, they also have to add things like comic reliefs and a love angle because, well, it's still an animated feature,
Yeah.
but even those are actually pretty well handled. The comedic bits are charming and aren't distracting from the main plot, and the romance angle between Balto and Jenna do help with the development of the characters.
And to the north.
Balto is I think Balto probably would be my favorite character in this movie, although I never really thought about it.
But what really makes this movie engaging is the amount of intensity they put into it.
Oh, totally.
From the action scenes that Balto would go through, to Rosie's chance of survival going down if the antitoxin doesn't make it to Nome. It really pushes how there's so much risk that it really does help the audience wanting to see Balto succeed on his quest. this just goes to show that with the right amount of emotion and intensity, you can make a predictable story an enjoyable one.
Yep.
The animation. It really is too bad that this was Amblemation's last movie, because you can tell that these animators are capable of doing great things. Everything in the animation here is handled extremely well for the tone it's trying to set. It may be a talking animals movie, but they still kept things in a realistic setting, showing a more simple town in Alaska from the 20s. For the character animation, they all move nicely and fit with the tone of their personalities, rather it be Balto and Jenna acting more like realistic dogs, or Boris, Muck, and Luck acting more in a cartoonier sense for comedic effect.
I love those two also, though. They're cute.
We love you, Uncle Pooh.
No.
As for the character design, they look professionally well made, seeming like the right choice to bring these animals into an animated feature. However, these designs may look good in the animals, not so much on the humans though. They might have stylized them a little too much for what it's
I guess that's a good point, yeah.
stated before, one of the highlights in this film
But at least
is
they're not.
intensity.
But at least the human characters aren't a big part of the film, so I guess you can overlook that.
Impact or the danger Balto's in when he would come across obstacles like a bear or the edge of a cliff. It really emphasizes on the risk, and that's what makes those scenes really engaging to watch. It's not every day when you encounter humble animation that doesn't offer so much pizzazz, but still really well done like this. The characters. This movie does offer a lot of different characters, but only a selected few stand out. Starting with the main character Balto, he's the outcast that no one really likes because he's part wolf, but he is a likable character because of his good heart, and he knows what's right and what he's supposed to do. Like, the whole point is not to look good in front of everyone, but to make sure that the antitoxin makes it to the kids. With Jenna, you'd expect that she would be just a love interest, but the movie puts in a lot more into her with the fact that her owner, Rosie, is sick and would even go help Balto to make sure the medicine arrives.
Yep.
Then we got Steel, whom some would say that he's the villain of the film, but he's more passed as the big jerk more than anything.
Maybe an antagonist, but yeah, I guess, but yeah, not a real villain.
Give an awesome performance, but he doesn't take things too far that would consider him a villain, like destroy the medicine or something. As for all the side characters, who are mostly comic reliefs, they're all more of a mix. There are those that work and are likable, like Boris, who is Balto's cynical best friend who sticks by him thick and thin, and Muck and Luck, who have this innocent charm to them.
Yeah,
And then
I love them.
that don't work.
Yes.
They are mostly obnoxious than anything.
Yeah, they are.
Steel's lackeys only have that one joke that doesn't really work, yet they keep on repeating it.
Oh, yeah.
You side pocket there.
That was the most dead center.
Yeah.
The most on target. The most down the middle.
Yeah, get him!
Yeah, that
100% of the characters
that
come
joke
across
did get old
appealing, but there are a
fast.
few that end up being memorable. Balto may have a few setbacks that keeps it away from being a top dog, but the movie is still quite enjoyable with a simple yet intense story, really nice animation, and some likable characters to remember by. If you're looking for a fun animated feature that sets itself more into reality than other movies, then this is a good pick for you. Funny enough, I actually never knew about that Balto statue in Central Park before I saw this movie. I mean, I've been there a few times, walk around the place, saw the Imagine Memorial, but I don't remember seeing that statue. You know, tell you what, for the sake of this movie, next time I go to New York, I'll try to find it and see it for myself. Apparently it's in front of the Central Park Zoo, so it shouldn't be that hard to find.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe you'd even take a video recording of it or something to let us see it. That would be cool. Anyway, that was another. That's the end of the Balto review, but there's probably a bit more like in the last one.
Hey guys, this is AniMat's. Once again, I would like to thank Carlomon for giving me this opportunity to go check out Balto through his awesome support on Patreon. And I gotta say that it's actually really rare and really nice that I would get to see an animated film this humble and like so down to earth, you know? Now, I know that nowadays we do get a lot of those through the independent animated features. Like, one example is Chico and Rita. But
never saw that. I don't even heard of that.
The mainstream animation studios, like the ones that get like wide release in theaters and all that stuff. Yes, I know technically Emblemation is a really short-lived animation studio, so like we couldn't really consider that mainstream or a big animation studio. But considering that it does come from Steven Spielberg's animation studio,
yeah,
I would technically count Balto as one of those mainstream animated films.
Yeah.
But anyways, now that that's over,
probably an underrated one, but still
to another.
But it is still from a
it's
mainstream.
For another one of those. And this one is actually coming from John Errol Bilfatide. And I just want to mention right now that if you guys would like to be like Carlomon or John and go and support my work and have some awesome rewards at the same time, all you have to do is just go to patreon.com/animat. Trust me, you won't regret it. You'll have a really great time there. And also, if you guys would still like to suggest an animated film you would like me to review and I would put into the animation hat, then write me an email at animatsreviews@gmail.com. So with all that said, what is it that John suggests me to review? Well, interestingly enough, long before How to Train Your Dragon, about like 3 decades ago, this was actually the go-to animated feature that's pretty much all about dragons, or, you know, at least it has dragon in the title or something like that.
Huh. I'm not sure what that would be. That doesn't ring any bells for me. So now I'm kind of curious. I'll have to look that up on his channel. Anyway, we're done with that now, and those were both they were both pretty well done reviews, and as you probably already figured out, he and I don't really agree on about A Bug's Life. I loved A Bug's Life, and I loved Flick, I loved Dot. So, well, but he still gave it a fair shake, so I'm not going to, you know, I'm just going to agree to disagree. I'm not going to try to, oh gosh, I'm not going to try to give him a hard time about it or anything, because it was still a very fair review. As for Balto, he and I seem to agree on it 100%. Cause yeah, we both agree on which characters we like, how the story is done, and the only thing, and it's not really a disagreement so much as just an observation, is when he said that the human characters in Balto weren't that appealing, and I definitely see what he's saying there, but as I said during my commentary, the humans don't play a large role in the film, so you can kind of overlook it for that reason. Anyway, this is Kinako Ishiyama. I hope you enjoyed this commentary, and I will also try, I found a page that shows what order these reviews actually came out in, so I will try to do them in the order he released them, starting with the next one I do of his reviews. So until then, I hope you'll tune in for the next one, and until then, take care everyone. Bye.